Growing up, one of my absolute favourite shows was Gladiators. There was just something captivating about watching these larger-than-life, lycra-clad, muscle-bound, hyper-athletic warriors dismantle the hopes and dreams of the gallant contestants in a series of increasingly more physical and challenging events. The show gave rise to the golden era of British television, where families gathered around their TV each week, cheering on the contenders and marvelling at the sheer athleticism of the gladiators. Fast forward to the present day, and Gladiators fever is in full swing again, as the show is set to make its triumphant return on the BBC in 2024. As we await the arrival of the new show, I thought it would be worthwhile taking a look at what we know so far about the show and what to expect in terms of the events, the gladiators, and more. The anticipation is palpable, and Gladiators enthusiasts like myself can't help but speculate on how the show will adapt to the modern era. Will the classic events like the Eliminator and Hang Tough retain their legendary status? What new challenges might the producers introduce to test the mettle of the contenders? Who will be the new batch of gladiators stepping into the arena? And will they live up to the legacy of their predecessors? Join me as we delve into the details and explore the buzz surrounding the upcoming reboot. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a newcomer to the excitement, this video will be your guide to everything Gladiators 2024. If you like this sort of content, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a little thumbs up while you're down there. The original run of Gladiators ended on January 1st, 2000, with the grand finale of Series 8. Viewing figures were declining and times were changing, and so much to the disappointment of fans, it was time to say goodbye. But we didn't have to wait too long for a revival. In 2008, Sky One announced that they were reviving the show, and that it would follow the general format set by its counterpart American revival. However, this reboot only lasted for 2 series, and in my opinion was a huge disappointment. I felt like the show had lost what had made it so appealing and popular in the 90s, and perhaps they were trying to recreate something that just wasn't right for the times. But that was then, and this is now. And perhaps now is a better time for a proper revival. At least that's what the BBC thinks. In July 2022, it was first reported that the BBC were in talks with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, who own the rights to the original format, to relaunch the show on BBC One. The rumours were confirmed by the BBC the following month via a press release, announcing that Hungry Bear Media and MGM Television would produce the show. Dan Baldwin, managing director of Hungry Bear, said, "It's the perfect time for Gladiators to return. What other show combines electric excitement, superheroes, giant sponge fingers, elite athletes, and a pinch of pantomime?" Dom Bird, senior vice president for international unscripted TV at MGM, said, "MGM UK is incredibly excited to deliver a huge show with the scale, energy and drama that Saturday nights on BBC One are made for. It's going to be an epic series, pushing our next level gladiators and contestants to the very limits of their physical abilities." Let's take a look at everything we know about the upcoming series of Gladiators, starting with the show's overall image and presentation. Firstly, I'm glad to see that the old Gladiators logo has returned. While there are very slight changes, mainly the red and blue outline, it's almost identical to the original series, unlike the logo they used for the 2008 reboot, which was completely different. It also appears that the show's original theme music will also make its return. A YouTube short posted by the BBC's official YouTube channel features the music, and the theme can be heard in a number of clips posted online from fans in attendance at the live recordings. The original series in the 90s was filmed at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, now known as the Utilita Arena. However, the upcoming reboot was filmed at the Sheffield Arena. From images and video clips taken by fans in attendance at the tapings, it does appear as if the arena is a little smaller than the original series, but not by a great deal. And it's quite clear that the producers are trying hard to emulate the original series as closely as possible to retain that familiarity, whilst at the same time trying to portray a modern feel. From clips I've seen, there is particularly good use of lighting during some of the games to give the show a really modern look. The 2008 reboot tried to distance itself from the original series a bit too much, so much so that it felt like a completely different show altogether. 2024's reboot looks familiar and will certainly scratch people's itch for a bit of nostalgia. We'll talk a little bit more about the set design later when we look at the events. Now let's consider the format of the show. We know that the show will follow a tournament-based format where each episode will see 2 men and 2 women compete against the Gladiators in a series of events, and culminating with the Eliminator at the end of the show to see which contestants will go through to the next round. Nothing new here, but what I am interested in though is how the heats and the quarterfinals are going to work. On the Wikipedia page for the show, episodes 1 to 5 are listed as the heats, and episodes 6 to 8 are listed as the quarterfinals, followed by 2 semifinals and the grand final. What I suspect is going to happen is that the male and female winning contenders from each heat will obviously go through to the quarterfinals, but with only 5 heats, this will be only 5 male and 5 female contenders. With 3 quarterfinals, they're going to need 1 more male and female contender. So I'm assuming that they will put through the male and female contenders who scored the highest among the losing contenders from the heats to make up 6 men and women in the 3 quarterfinals. 3 quarterfinals? Surely it should be 3 third finals? That doesn't sound right. We'll stick with quarterfinals. Anyway, something similar is going to happen in the quarterfinals, with the winners going through to the semis, alongside the best scoring losers, resulting in 4 male and 4 female contenders in the semifinals to battle it out for the title of champion. A little bit complicated in terms of the format, if this format is correct. I'm assuming that the show was only commissioned for 11 episodes, and the show's producers had to come up with a tournament-based format that fits into this number of episodes. And if my suspicions about the format are correct, I think this is quite a good idea. I can remember a couple of occasions from the original run where there were 2 excellent contenders going head to head, and it would have been great if they had both gotten through to the next round. Let's see how this plays out next year. Now the events. There were so many great events from the original series, and it would be greedy of us to expect them all to return. I have my favourites that I hope to see in the BBC revival, but let's take a look at the events we know will definitely be returning. We know for a fact that fan favourite The Wall will return, as can be seen in the images showing the main part of the set in the Sheffield Arena. At first glance, it looked to me as if the wall is smaller, but maybe that's just the camera angle. During an interview on BBC Breakfast, 2 of the new Gladiators confirmed that among the old games returning were Hang Tough, Duel and Powerball, all great choices. I wonder if they'll use the boys are back in town and we are family again for the Gladiator entrances. Similarly, during an appearance on This Morning, 3 of the new Gladiators confirmed that Gauntlet will be returning. And by the looks of some of the new Gladiators, this is going to be a very tough event for the contenders. In terms of the new games, there are 3 that I have seen. The first is Collision. This event seems to involve 4 gladiators against 1 contender, and looks like a bit of a variation of the classic game Hit and Run. The contender has to get from one side of the bridge to the other carrying a ball, while trying to avoid the gladiators who are swinging at them. This one could be interesting. Another new game is The Ring. This features both contenders against 2 gladiators, and is similar in some ways to Powerball. The contenders have to start on the edge of the ring and get past the gladiators to touch a circle in the middle of the ring. Upon successfully doing this, the contender must return to the edge of the ring and can start again. This could be a high-scoring game, as the ring looks massive. Finally, another new game I've seen images of is The Edge, which appears to be some kind of balancing act high above the arena. I haven't seen any clips of this one in action, so we'll have to wait to find out. And finally, of course, what would Gladiators be without the Eliminator? I'm pleased to say that the classic Eliminator from the original series is back, with an almost identical obstacle course. I'm super pleased about this, as I was definitely not a fan of the Eliminator in the 2008 reboot. In terms of the design of these games, from what I've seen so far, almost every game looks to be identical to the original series. Sure, there's some small changes like the size and shape of the wall, or the overall size of the Hang Tough course, but in essence, the games are the same. And I think this is a wise move. in keeping with the producer's overall goal of essentially recreating the 90s run in the modern era. Straying too far away from what people are familiar with and what people loved could lead to the show facing a similar fate to the 2008 reboot. So overall, I'm really pleased with what they've done with the games and the overall image of the show. I'm sure there will be plenty of other new games for us to enjoy, but we'll have to wait until it's broadcast to find out. In terms of what other old events will return, I have a feeling Atlas Spheres will not be returning. As mentioned earlier, it appears that the space available in the Sheffield Arena is not as big as that of the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, so an event like this probably wouldn't work. For me, I really hope Pyramid and Joust return, as they were two of my favourites from the original series. What games are you most looking forward to seeing? Let me know in the comments below. Finally, let's now take a look at our new lineup of Gladiators. There are 16 new Gladiators in total, 8 men and 8 women. First, let's take a look at the male Gladiators. We have former rugby union and American football player Alex Gray as Apollo, 6'6" bodybuilder Matty Campbell as Bionic, former firefighter turned bodybuilder Jamie Christian Johal as Giant, bodybuilder and former international athlete Matt Morcia as Legend, European and Commonwealth gold medalist sprinter Harry Akins Ariti as Nitro, British bobsledder Toby Olubi as Phantom, top CrossFit athlete Zach George as Steel, and bodybuilder Kwang Luong as Viper. I don't know about you, but I'd be quite terrified of going up against them in some of the events. And now for the female Gladiators. We have British powerlifter Karanjeet Kaur Baines as Athena, former elite gymnast and semi-professional diver Ella May Rayner as Comet, bodybuilder Livy Sheldon as Diamond, full-time elite CrossFit athlete Emily Steele as Dynamite, who also happens to be the youngest Gladiator at only 20, sports model, fitness coach and hybrid athlete Jade Packer as Electro, British multi-sports Olympian Montel Douglas as Fire, English rugby union player Jody Bunting as Fury, whose father was a contender on the 2008 reboot, and finally weightlifter and personal trainer Shelley McCoy as Sabre. I think we can all agree that this is a great lineup of Gladiators. I'm really looking forward to seeing their personalities on the show and which events they dominate. Last but not least, let's talk about the show's hosts and referees. The show will be hosted by Bradley Walsh and his son Barney. A good choice, I think, but did you know that the Walsh family has a connection to the original 1990s series? Bradley's wife, Donna, was head choreographer for the Gladiators cheerleaders G-Force in the original series. I'm sure Bradley and Barney will do a great job as hosts, and I'm looking forward to seeing the energy that they bring to the show. There will be 3 referees adjudicating the events. The head referee is Mark Clattenburg. Mark is one of England's most decorated referees, having spent 13 years as a Premier League official and has refereed some of the biggest matches in the game, including the 2012 Men's Olympic Finals, the 2016 Champions League Final, and the final of Euro 2016. Speaking about the opportunity, Mark said, "It's amazing. When you look back to when it first started in the 90s, Gladiators was so iconic, and wherever you go in the world, people have heard of Gladiators. Growing up, I used to sit and watch every show. John Anderson, the original referee, was so legendary. For me, it's such an honour and a privilege to now in 2023 be part of Gladiators. To be named referee after John Anderson is such an honour. Even though I've refereed some of the biggest games in the world, this is one of the most amazing things I will do in my life." Joining him will be Sonia Umkoloma and Lee Phillips. Sonia is a former England international netball player, and Lee is a fitness professional, firefighter and athlete. I'm sure the 3 of them will keep the Gladiators and contenders in order throughout the series. As of the publishing of this video, it appears as though we're only a few weeks away from the show's premiere on BBC television. While an exact date has not been revealed as of yet, during the Strictly Come Dancing finale of 2023, Gladiators Giant, Nitro, Fury and Fire made an appearance, and Fire revealed that the premiere would be at the beginning of the new year of 2024. I don't know about you, but I'm super excited for the show's return. Gladiators defined my childhood, and when I think back to the 90s, this is one of the first shows that comes to mind. I have so many great memories of the show, and having it back on our screens will be a joy. And hopefully, it will inspire a new generation to exercise, keep fit, take part in sports, and stay healthy. And that's always a good thing. Let me know down in the comments below what you're most looking forward to from this reboot, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it would mean the world if you could. I've got some big plans for 2024, and would love to take you along on the ride. Thanks everyone, and see you in the next one.